In this video, I'm taking another trip down memory lane and going through my old photos and sharing with you all of my favorite cakes year by year. Now, I've been decorating cakes since about 2002, and when I first started, I made sheet cakes all the time, and then I got into the tiered and the custom cakes. I didn't really start making cake albums by year until 2009, so I'll start with my favorite sheet cake, and then I'll show you my favorite cake every year from 2009 until 2025. So let's start with the sheet cakes. And this elephant one is my absolute favorite sheet cake that I ever made. I just think that it is so adorable with the little saying on it. And I always say big long messages are perfect for sheet cakes. It drives me insane when people want to put big long messages like that on a beautiful 3-tiered custom cake. It just doesn't fit. But it looks super adorable on a sheet cake. So now on to my favorite cake from 2009. And that is this bumblebee cake. And I did make something similar before with a big ladybug on top. And then somebody wanted something similar to that with the bumblebee. And I just think it looks so cute with the little bees all around it and the big bee on the top. And I just love everything about this cake. My favorite cake from 2010 is this owl cake, and I did just make a video about 2000s cake trends, and the owl trend was one of my favorites. And this owl cake was the first owl cake that I made, and I was just so proud of this one. I made many other owl cakes after that, but this one was my favorite one of 2010. The top cake from 2011 is this beehive cake. This one is pretty simple, but it was just one of my favorite cakes. I had it on my cover photos and in a lot of my marketing campaigns, and I tried to replicate it afterwards, and I just feel like it never turned out as cute as it did in 2011. Okay, now all the cakes from 2012 to 2025. I had like a top 3 or top 4 cakes that I'm going to share with you, and then I'll choose my favorite because there were quite a few and it was very difficult for me to pick. So I have 2 cakes that I love the best from 2012. The first one is this wedding cake, and I just think maybe the background of the picture makes it look so much better, but I love this billowing technique, and I do have a video showing you how I do that. That will be linked below, but I just love everything about this cake. But my favorite cake from 2012 is this Very Hungry Caterpillar cake, and Very Hungry Caterpillar is one of my most favorite themes to make. I think I have another Hungry Caterpillar that ended up being my favorite on this list. It is just so cute. I wish more people would order this theme. So for 2013, I have 3 cakes that were my favorite. The first one is this Minnie Mouse cake, which is a topsy-turvy cake, which is one of the trends from the early 2000s that I reviewed in that other video. The next one is this iPhone cake, and it has the leopard print and everything, and it's still another topsy-turvy design. I use this one in so many of my advertising campaigns. But I think my favorite cake from 2013 is this Angry Birds cake. And if you know me, you know I don't like making 3D decorations, but I guess the cake gods were on my side for a little while I made these Angry Birds. I actually was able to make them look like the actual Angry Birds in 3D. And Angry Birds was a thing. It's not a thing anymore, but I made quite a few Angry Birds cakes. For 2014, I have 2 cakes that I like the best. The first one is this Oscar the Grouch cake. I love this cake so much. Nobody has ever ordered another Oscar the Grouch cake, and I think part of the reason that I like it so much is because I love making food cakes. Anything that I can try to make out of fondant that looks like real food is so much fun to me. But my top favorite cake for 2014 is this owl cake. This is just one of my favorite cakes that I've ever made of all time, and it's not even that crazy with the size and the detail. I just love the placement of everything. I love how the bucket turned out. The owl is so cute, and I love all the little details on there. All right, for 2015, I have 4 cakes that were my favorite. The first one is this carnival cake, and I do have a video showing you how I make this, and that will be linked below. This one is fun to make. Just like I said before, it has some food in it, and I just love making food cakes. The next one is this religious cake that I made, and again, I use this one in so many of my marketing pieces. I just love the ruffles on the bottom, the letter on the top, and I do have a video showing you how to make a fondant script letter, and that will be linked below. The third one that I love is this ice cream theme cake, and again, like whenever I have to pick cakes that I want to showcase, it's always going to be some of these cakes that I'm talking about right now. But I just love this ice cream cake. And I remember she said she wanted all pastel colors, and I decided to do that pop of the hot pink, and in certain areas, and I just think it came together so well. But my top cake of 2015 is this graduation cake, and this is my favorite graduation cake that I've ever made. I've made something similar so many different times, but I just love the colors on this one. I love the logos on this one. I love the little softball and the grad cap, and everything about this just looks so good. I made a cake that was similar to this, but it was like all yellow and blue, and it just didn't look right. The contrast of the colors on this cake, I just love it so much. For 2016, there are two cakes that were my top favorite. The first one is this cat theme cake, and this was one, it's funny because when I was making it, I didn't love it until it was finished, and I just loved the big bow on it and the cats, and this was for two people, that's why it has a little happy birthday banner in the front, but I just love how this one turned out. My favorite cake from 2016 is, again, this very hungry caterpillar cake, and when I make the same theme multiple times, I like to have creative control and try something different. So you can see this one is different because it has that big piece of chocolate cake on the top. The design is similar, but it's different because she let me be creative and come up with something, and I just love the way that it turned out. For 2017, I have the top three. So the first one is this M&M's cake, and this one was so much fun to make. I just loved the way the little M&M guys turned out, and I used actual M&Ms on the cake. The next one is this emoji cake, and again, this one was so much fun to make, and I like how I got a little creative with the name and the Z's in her name. I made like the ZZZ, which was like a sleep emoji, and I don't know, I just love how this one turned out as well. And my most favorite cake from 2017 is this Christmas themed cake that I entered in a Christmas cake competition. Now I placed second. The girl who placed first had this big 3D creation that there's no way that I could have made something like that. Whoa. However, nobody ever orders Christmas cakes like this from me, and this was the only chance that I got to make something with all these characters from my favorite Christmas movies, so I just love this cake so much. For 2019, I have my top three cakes. The first one is this Mickey Mouse cake. I loved making this one. This one is adorable, and I do have a video showing you how to make something similar that will be linked below. My next favorite cake is a really simple one. It is this semi-naked cake with real flowers. And again, I think the background of the picture just looks so good, and the flowers were provided by their florist. So they're really nice flowers on this cake, and I just love how it turned out. But my most favorite cake from 2019 is this little one-tier cake, and it was a music theme, and I got creative with the name. His name was Junior, so for the J, I made the saxophone. For the I had the little maraca, that's what it's called, right? Like, I tried to use the musical instruments as letters in the name, and I just love how this turned out. This one was so much fun. All right, 2020 was a great year for me. So I have 5 cakes that were my favorites. So we'll start with this Dunkin' Donuts cake. It was pretty simple with the munchkins, but I think this one was so cute. The next one is this little Mickey Mouse cake, and this is just one tier, but I think the way that it just came together so well. Everything is nice and clean, and it just looks so cute. This golf cake is another one of my favorites. I just like the way that the decorations are. This is one of my favorite designs. And then also, I know I said nobody ever orders Christmas cakes from me, but I made this cake with the Christmas tree and the bow and the drip. I just love the way that this one turned out. But my absolute favorite cake from 2020, and I use this all of the time in my advertising and on my website, is this teddy bear bubbles cake. And I have videos showing you how to make the teddy bear topper, how to make the bubbles, how to do the textured buttercream. The bear on this one is so cute. I've made the bear so many times. Sometimes I don't like how the bear turns out, but this one, he's so adorable, and I love the colors, and everything came together perfectly on this cake. All right, for 2021, I have 3 favorites. The first one is this religious cake. I just love how the ruffles and the sprinkles match and the color scheme of this one. I just think it's so pretty. Then I have this one, which is a cake with all the different things that she liked, and I love how the sneaker is and the Takis, and I just love the design of this one. And this final one, I'll say, is probably my favorite one of the year. This girl graduated from a beauty school, and I didn't even know what I was going to do with this one, but I ended up really loving how it turned out with the blow dryer and the hair, and I used the squares instead of the polka dots, and I just love all the colors on this cake. For 2022, I have 5 that I love the most. The first one is this sports cake, and I love how his name was Peter, and I was able to do the Phillies P as part of his name. The next one is this king cake, this baby shower cake, and I use this one all the time on my website and everything, but I just love how the colors are and everything came together. Chef's kiss on this one. That was so dumb. Why did I do that? The next one that I love so much, and this one's on my website and all over as well, is this kindergarten theme cake. And I think I like this so much because I didn't have to put a name or any writing or anything on it. It was just the decorations, and it's so colorful, and I love the design layout of this one. And these final two, I go in between. I use these pictures all the time. I don't know which one's my favorite. So we'll start with this woodland animals theme cake. This was for my friend. And I seriously, with the placement of the animals and the bottom tier being the tree stump, and the tree stump turned out perfectly and the airbrushing was perfect. This is one of my favorite cakes that I've ever made. But I think my favorite one of 2022 is this bunny cake, and this is one of my favorite cakes to this day. It's on my website, it's all over the place, it's in my cover photo. I love this cake so much. The bunny turned out perfectly. I don't like making 3D animals or decorations too often, but sometimes when I make them and they turn out perfectly, it just makes me so happy. And I just love the way that I designed this cake. This is not 3 tiers. The bottom tier has half ruffles, and I left some space so I could fit her name, and then did the stripes on the top tier. And I just love how this one turned out. 2023 was one of my best years in making cakes. I have 6 favorites. We'll start with this Disney themed cake that I made for a friend, and this one is one of my favorite cakes. This took forever to do. All of the characters are fondant, and it took hours and hours and hours for me to make, but my friend was so happy with this one. It is definitely on my top 10 cakes that I've ever made. Then I have this barnyard animal cake, which I do have a video showing you how I make that, and it will be linked below, along with this unicorn themed cake. And I also have a video showing you how to decorate this one, and that's linked in the description. And then also this Minecraft cake, which I have a video. I filmed this entire thing, and that will be linked below as well. And if you know me, you know I hated Minecraft until 2023 when I tried it again, and I ended up being able to make it look nice and pretty, and it ended up being one of my favorite cakes. And my top favorite cake of 2023 is this cake, and again, it is a food theme. This was for my mother's best friend's grandson, and he's a baker, and he wanted everything like pancakes and cake stuff and cookies, and I just had so much fun making this. I wish more people would order cakes like this. They're my favorite ones to make. I have 2 favorite cakes from 2024. The first one is this high heel shoe cake. Now, this is not my original design. I was asked to make something similar to a picture that was given to me, but I just love the colors and how this one turned out. And I don't have a video showing you how to make this, but I do have a video showing you how to do the high heel shoe, and that will be linked below. My favorite cake of 2024 is this adorable little Halloween themed cake. Now, I didn't film this entire thing, but I have videos showing you how to do certain decorations on here and the Frankenstein tier. So look in the description, they will all be linked below. And now we're to 2025, and so far I have 4 cakes that I love the best. We'll start with number 1, which is the Eagles Super Bowl Champions cake, which I was so excited to make. My next favorite is this Sweet 16 cake that I made, which is full of a bunch of her different favorite things. And the next one is this cake that I made for my friend. She published a book, and I made these cakes to look like her book stacked on top of each other. This one was so much fun to make. I did not film how I did this, but I do have a video showing you how to make a book cake, and that will be linked below. But my top cake right now from 2025 is this gaming cake that I recently made. And again, I didn't film this one. I do have a video showing you how to make a different controller, but it's the same technique. And I have videos showing you how to use edible images and how to make a Sonic cake, so I can link all those below. Now, I do have other videos from the other cakes that I've posted, like the King Cole cake. I have a video showing how to do the gold crown, which I didn't mention in this video, but just look in the description and I will list a bunch of videos that show you how to do the techniques on some of these pictures that I posted. And I was thinking, should I do a video on my most hated cakes of all time? Because I have a long list of cakes that I had to make that I hated so much. And I don't know if that's a little too negative. I try to be a little bit more positive, but I think as cake decorators, we all go through this and we all have to make cakes that we don't want to do or that turn out the way, like we're so mad, we hate it, it's ugly. So I think maybe I'll make a video of my most hated cakes next. Let me know what you think. So I think that's it. Which one was your favorite? I would love to know. Leave it in the comments below. And just a reminder, I have ebooks with all of my favorite recipes. I have my signature scratch pound cake recipes, my best doctored cake mix recipes, all of my buttercream icing and filling recipes, along with my favorite numbers and my favorite fonts. So they will all be linked below. And I do have a Cake Academy membership program where I can help you elevate your cakes to the next level. All of that information is in the description. Please like this video if you liked it. And if you're enjoying my tutorials, I would be so grateful if you could buy me a coffee. My link is down below. And I would love it if you would keep in touch on socials and you can check out my website. And if you want to stick around, you can watch this video next. And hit subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. And remember, it's cake, have fun. I will see you on the next one. Bye.